Hey guys, what's up? I've been having a lot of fun lately with Last of Us Part 2. If you have an Xbox right now or just a mobile and no console, you're seriously missing out. But welcome to another day of my show. If you're wondering why the camera is like this and you've been watching before, it's because my other monitor is plugged into my PS4 because I'm playing Last of Us Part 2 non-stop. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at a few things for Valorant console. We're going to be comparing it to other games on the consoles or whatever, for Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege. I especially want to point out Rainbow Six Siege because it's a huge game going on right now. And it compares to, Valorant pretty well. Valorant is its own game, it doesn't have... it's pretty unique. It doesn't have anything different. But I think it can compare pretty well to Rainbow Six Siege. And I'm going to be making that in this video. So... there's a lot of pros actually going, into Valorant from Rainbow Six Siege or, Apex Legends or Overwatch or whatever. It's pretty much profitable, and that's what I wanted to be talking about today. So, if we go over here, my MS Paint skills, we can talk about a few things over today. So, if you came back, welcome back. If you're new, welcome back to my Picasso MS Paint. But anyway, we have Rainbow Six, we have Overwatch, and we could have CSGO. That's one thing. So I'm going to be comparing a few things about this. So I'm guessing we're going to be comparing abilities, characters. So it's not agents, it's actually characters. So abilities are agents or whatever, each one has its own. Like in Overwatch, it's a hero. In Rainbow Six Siege, it's a character. Or an agent as well, and the system, how it actually works, aim assist and whatever. So I'm gonna make a simple chart here, whatever, So if we look at CSGO, if we look at Overwatch, if we look at Rainbow Six Siege, everyone on consoles, even for CSGO, they didn't have aim assist. So that's one thing nobody's talking about. Every single of these games had no aim assist, and the reason why, Rainbow Six Siege on console really compares to Valorant is because Rainbow Six Siege it's a 5v5, right? Well, Valorant is also a 5v5. Well, then we have the guns, okay? So you also have different type of guns all through. In Rainbow Six Siege, it's really limited. So, but they're pretty similar. The only difference is you can't actually zoom in. But there's also no aim assist. So going on with that, there's no actual aim assist over here. And one thing that I really like about Rainbow Six Siege, it's realistic, just as Valorant. So both are realistic. That's what they have in common. And one thing I really like about them is the agents have special abilities. I would just call... I played Rainbow Six Siege a lot. I just call them characters or agents or whatever. But you get my point. And all of these agents have different abilities. Yeah, it's not throwing, nades or whatever, but it has pretty similar. So the only thing they don't have together, Rainbow Six Siege and Valorant in actuality, is in Rainbow Six Siege, you have a prep phase. All through in Valorant, you have some sort of a prep phase. And you can't break off walls, okay? But you have Sage Wall. So that still matters, right? So has some destructibles and whatever. And it's kind of more... I don't know, it's kind of more punishing than Valorant for sure. Because if in Rainbow Six Siege you're in a simple wrong spot in the same room, bam, you get shot at, you die. That's it, right? I guess Rainbow Six Siege, why did I choose this and why did I choose this topic today? Because Rainbow Six Siege actually compares to Valorant console pretty well. And people are saying, well, it's never gonna work, guys. Valorant console is stupid, and people are just complaining. People like to complain. It's seriously a problem these days. But there's a huge difference here. Rainbow Six Siege and Valorant both could work on console, and Rainbow Six Siege is a living proof that you can actually play a game that's, very slow and shooter based and aim precision based on a console. So I'm gonna type it out here. Rainbow Six Siege works on consoles. You can just see how the tournaments work. You can see the esports, how they work. You probably, if you don't play Rainbow Six Siege, you probably don't know this, but for Rainbow Six Siege, the tournaments are pretty huge. They're not League of Legends kind of like, they're not Dota kind of like, but they still have a huge investment for these, and it definitely works for them. So for Valorant, they said they want a unique experience or whatever, and it really doesn't change the fact that it's pretty easy to replicate this idea. So from making it from Valorant to Rainbow Six Siege, I think that's pretty easy, to be honest. One more thing about this is, people have been comparing this to Overwatch, but Overwatch actually has nothing much similar. Okay, so Overwatch is actually 6v6, while Valorant on console is actually a 5v5. On Overwatch, I think on console you have kind of aim assist, not really. I'm not sure, but abilities, different health, whatever. Like, the only difference here in Rainbow Six Siege is speed and armor. That's one huge thing in Rainbow Six Siege that actually makes a huge difference for all these agents, right? But then in the end, while this is just, abilities, armor, health, speed for Overwatch agents. So I don't know why people are comparing this, probably because of the graphics, probably because of the abilities and whatever. But Overwatch is nothing unlike, Valorant. You can't compare these two. It's impossible. Now we have CSGO. Wow. I just get kind of mumbles when someone compares, mentions the Xbox console CSGO thing. Yeah, you can't really compare these two. CSGO, for one hand, yeah, sure, it has the same mechanism, but the huge thing is CSGO relies heavily on aim, while Valorant also relies heavily on aim, but even more so on abilities. So if you can use a nice ability, you don't have to aim perfect. So I'm gonna go over here. If you have good abilities, and like this is gonna be CSGO, right? So this is CSGO, and in CSGO, it just stops. You don't have any abilities available. Nothing happens. But in Valorant, let's say you throw a flash or you throw a smoke. So let's say you throw a smoke here, you throw a flash. You even use your ult or whatever. Anything works. But a simple key thing is that could win your round, because you can actually defend the flash, or I mean, you step back because of the flash, or you're flashed, or you flash an enemy team. You can easily kill them. It's really not that hard to aim on the console, right? Because we have the Rainbow Six Siege's example. And with abilities, it's game changing. That's why Valorant would be so good. Imagine if Valorant came out without abilities. Who would be playing this shit? You would have 5 different characters without any abilities, anything whatsoever. It wouldn't be any different than CSGO, otherwise that it would be Riot's game. But luckily that's not happening, and that's why Valorant is one of the biggest games playing it right now, in my honest opinion. It's one of the big key things and features, and they're gonna release it for a console. They have to fight CSGO somehow. So whether what Riot is gonna try to do, so I'm gonna do this small circle. This is like the CSGO user base. Like, this is a huge army of people. They have everything. They have skins. They have weapons. They're gambling. They're watching esports. Whatever. I'm just gonna draw a few more faces over here. So this is CSGO. And this is the Valorant tight community, like the little 300 Spartan army, so these are some people, some are still getting used to the game. You kind of need, time to establish a user base. You kind of need good experiences, kind of need fast support and whatever. And, what we have to do with Valorant right now, or what Riot has to do, is find more people, find more people who actually support the game, find more people who actually like to play the game, so they can fight against CSGO. But you know, they're so limited at the PC version, they actually have to go for the console. And while at CSGO, that's not possible. Where's the console? Where's the console? Where's the console? Oh, yeah, here it is. Riot, Riot will say, we're already dominating the, you know, the console market right now. CSGO, you're not dominating the console market. So, I'm guessing we can get all the players from the console and expand it. That's how I see Riot working, basically. So, if you didn't understand me, because my English is kind of some weird sometimes, what they're doing is, you know, they're focusing on PC, so they kind of establish a PC user base. And CSGO doesn't have a huge console user base, or has actually almost none. That's why they need like the console players to actually fight these big games like Overwatch, CSGO, and whatever. If they have the budget for it, I definitely think this would work. But yeah, guys, let me know your opinions down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I have more Valorant videos on my channel. You know, be sure to subscribe, blah blah blah. And this is Fatman signing out. Peace, guys.